Okay, first of all, need to apologize. Did not realize there was something wrong with my microphone as we were recording, but that's neither here nor there. So, talk about the Final Four and the championship game that was absolutely fantastic. Probably the best Final Four and championship game combination we've seen in a while. And we talk about it since 2017, but it made us care about college basketball again like we were little kids back in the 80s and 90s. Phenomenal games from Auburn, from Florida, Duke, and Houston. The championship game was old school 80s basketball and fantastic. We give our thoughts on it in our own silly way, and then we discuss kind of what's going on with basketball in the NBA playoff picture, and then we just get bored and start talking about 80s movies because it's just fun to talk about 80s movies. So if you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe to us. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Blue Sky, we're on YouTube. Have Welcome to number one local sports podcast in Central Florida. This is Sandlot Sports. I am Adam Capperson. I'm here with Dorian Cody.
What up? What up?
And a man who's never purposely tanked the economy, BJ Thomas.
That's what you think. Um, yeah, that I feel real bad for Houston. That's a tough way to lose a game.
Yeah, and we'll start there. Actually, you know what? Let's start 2 days before that. Because Duke did the same thing. And to me, Duke blew that game. There was a 10-minute stretch where they made one field goal.
You're not going to win like that.
No. They had 3 lottery picks on that roster and made one field goal. And to me, that's on Shire. That's on the coach for not adjusting. Hey, look, Houston's cranked up the intensity level. We need to do something. It may not work, but we need to try something.
Yeah.
Well, they did something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I actually picked Houston to beat Duke because I felt as if Houston was going to make the game ugly. They make games ugly. They just play ugly games. Like you're going to have to grind it out to beat Houston because they are prone to, hey, you know what? We're going to beat you by just being. We're gonna be out physical, more athletic. We're gonna foul you. We're gonna make the game ugly, make you
See,
uncomfortable.
I disagree with that phrasing. Okay? Yes, they are going to be more physical. They are going to be in your grill. They are going to make you work for every single shot. That's not ugly. That's intense.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm
Okay?
I'm just saying like
Yeah,
compared to
yeah.
how
Duke is
much
not
it was.
used to, you know, guy up in your grill every single time you touch the ball. They're used to ACC
Right.
high flying. They were averaging 90 points a game.
Hmm.
Florida,
Right.
Florida adjusted.
Yeah.
Okay,
They had to.
and an ugly game was that game back in 2011 that they referenced when there was this is the lowest scoring first half since 2011 when Butler played UConn. That game was ugly.
Hmm.
I mean, they just missed shots. They would just miss
Yeah.
open shots left and right. The game last night was a defensive masterpiece on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, but was it Kelvin Sampson? Yeah,
Yeah,
Kevin Sampson. Like his like all season, he's been consistent about who his team was. Like the identity was we're going to be in your face, we're going to be physical, and we are going to like everywhere you go, there's going to be a shadow. Like the whole season, and like you said, Florida was able to adjust, man, and it was beautiful to watch.
yeah. It was so funny, like watching the game, because our boy Walter Clayton Jr., who would look really great in a Magic uniform next year,
Hmm.
at halftime he had 0 points. He had 5 assists but 0 points because they would put him in a pick and roll. The big guy would come over for the pick, and they would just double him, and he couldn't see anything. He might find the big guy into the middle if he could see the passing lane for an easy dunk. So what happened? They switched the pick and roll. This goes back
Hmm.
to coaching. They put a shooter out there, and the guy couldn't
Hmm.
couldn't just double. So
Right.
and
Yeah.
you saw. Go ahead, DJ. You were gonna say something?
Oh, yeah, they started running that high-low rub, too, where they'd give the ball to Clayton and let him run off the center and dive to the basket.
Hmm.
Hmm.
They got a few big plays out of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That's not arrogance of coaching. That's not stubbornness. That's okay. This shit ain't working. We need to do something different.
Hmm.
And And when Houston was up by 12, I was like, ooh, Florida's known for comebacks in this tournament. They've been doing it all tournament. I don't know if they can do it on Houston's defense because, as we said, like, they are physical. They are relentless. They don't give up. And then when
they came out the second half and gave Houston everything they've been asking for.
yeah,
That's when I was like, somebody got cussed out for being a pussy. When I watched it. No, I'm dead serious. Like they came out there and they're like, "Oh, you want to slam bodies for the next 20 minutes? Let's do it. Let's get physical. Let's push and shove." And they did it. And I was like, "Oh." That's why I felt the game change.
Yeah.
That was
Yep. And also like too how Florida put Martin on Crier.
yeah, that's his name.
Yeah. Yeah.
hey, that
They were
Crier
like,
dude's insane.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, he's nasty.
If he can get his arms over his head, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. They put Martin on him, was like blanket his ass. And he did a solid job in that second half, like blanketing Crier to where he wasn't hitting those shots to where he was used to hitting. Even in the tournament, like those corner threes, that was coming off the pick and roll threes. Like Martin did an excellent job, like being in his grill on defense.
yeah, and I got the feeling that when I think it was Condon, all the white dudes in Florida looked the same. I mean, they all look like they belong in Gainesville. So, but when he had the 3-point play to make it a 6-point game, I went, "Uh-oh. If Florida can just take the lead once, they're never giving it back." Because they looked like they figured something out. They had momentum, and it took them almost the entire second half to chip
I
away.
hope they all walked by Will Richards' locker and was like, "Thank you, thank you for hitting four threes in the first half and keeping us anywhere remotely close in this game."
Yes.
Because that dude is on fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he took those two crazy shots, and I was like, "Oh no, you're not that good. You're not that good."
Yeah.
And that Aberdeen cat, when he came off the bench,
Yeah.
when he started getting to the basket almost at will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, we're getting somewhere now."
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice watching. It felt like 90s, like 80s and 90s basketball again. Like where the kids, players wanted to play defense and were relentless about it, and just you're not going to outwork us. It was a nice throwback to when we were growing up.
That's what I can't remember who I was talking to last night, but I told him, I was like, "Man, this reminds me a lot of how basketball was growing up. Like these guys are going at it."
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite games of the last 10 years, easy.
Oh, it was fantastic.
The intensity of every basket mattering in that second half. Everything was so intense.
Right.
Every basket mattered. Every turnover. Every loose ball. It was just so fun to watch.
Like you want to show a clinic of how to play basketball? Watch that. Like there were still scoring. There were still some wonderful plays on offense, but the defense was just insane.
I saw a meme that was pretty damn accurate, and it said Houston's roster is 2 ballers and 3 guys that missed the football team.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the front court for Houston, they're just a physical group of people I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got to give them credit. Like they were outsized by Florida, and still were grabbing rebounds aggressively and boxing out and making a difference, playing defense on big guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget who said it. One of the announcers said it. He was talking about the Florida players. He's like, they are wider than you, but you're taller than they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Florida got slapped clean in the mouth in that first half.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a struggle for them to even keep it within the 6 that they did. And it was the 3 at halftime.
It was 6 at halftime. No, it was 3 at halftime. You're right.
So it was 31-28. It was very stressful as a Gator fan. I'm sitting here like, man, anytime now, guys, anytime now. And then Richard kept hitting those shots, and I'm like, oh, he's going crazy. He's 4 for 5 in the first half. And I was telling telling one of my friends I was watching the game with, I said, the thing is, though, is 3-point shooting almost always evens out.
Yep.
And I said, and if it doesn't, if he goes 4 for 5 in the second half, you've witnessed a historic performance.
Yep.
24 points off 3-pointers on 80% shooting, like, you witnessed something special.
Yeah, there's a reason why you shoot 40% because it's normally 4 out of 10. So if you hit 4 out of 5 in the first half, you're probably going to go 0 for 5 in the second half.
Yeah, he wound up 4 out of 7, which is still amazing.
Yeah, but and I will ask you this, as a Florida fan, you were watching that game. At any point did you think, "Oh my God, they're playing like crap," or did you just go, "Holy shit"?
They were out physical for so long until they came out in halftime and decided that's not how this is going to go. But it was never a question of talent. The whole time I thought Florida had the better natural scorers.
Mm-hmm.
They had Richard, Martin, and Clayton. Yeah, like those guys are natural scorers. So they're already up 1 in the scoring department. And the front court for Florida was aggressive. They were aggressive. Were they as efficient as they'd like to be? No. But they went after it on both ends of the floor. So I never thought it was out of control. But at 12 points, I was like, I told the guy I was talking or watching the game with, we were having this conversation. Like, look, it's either going to a 14-point lead now or it's going to 6. There's only 2 options. There's not going to be any, add 2 more points. They're either going to run it to 14 or Florida's going to cut it to 6, and Florida cut it to 6.
Yep.
And I was like, that's everything they needed right there.
Yeah, when they cut it to 6, and I think it was Condon that had the layup and it was the end one. I was like, well, there's something here now. There's some hope.
Well, that's what I told him. I said, look, the worst thing you can do is give a good basketball team hope.
Mm-hmm.
Let them even think they got a chance. That's why Michael Jordan was so successful, because he took that hope and like just threw it out the stadium. Like, no, not in here, bud. And yeah, but you give a sliver of light to a good team, and you could be in for a long evening, and that's what happened. Yeah. They let Florida think they could, and as soon as that happened, because they were close. They were close to burying him in that first half and making a comeback real hard. And Florida didn't let him finish it. It was impressive.
Yeah, and Florida kept like tying the score, and Houston would go up. Florida tied the score, Houston would go up. You're like, if they could just get over that hump, they could just do it.
One more stop.
Yep.
One stop.
And
bucket and a stop.
Yep. And the rebounding, my God, every rebound felt like a freaking battle.
It was. It absolutely. That was a very intense. I keep saying intense, and the gummies had nothing to do with it. That was intense no matter what. But that was a very intense second half.
Yes.
Everything mattered. It was all crucial. And once it got under 13 minutes, I was like, oh man, Florida, now or never. And it was now. They led that game for 63 seconds.
Yeah. But you know what?
They hadn't had a lead. Before the end of the game, they hadn't had a lead since 8-6.
Yeah. It didn't matter.
What? And we got to talk about how that game ended. I feel absolutely miserable for Houston. As stated before, I am a Gator fan, but I would have much rather seen them get up that last shot.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt terrible for them. It was great defense by Florida. Florida earned that. I think that was more about Florida's defense than it was Houston's offensive mistake. Because Clayton just timed that challenge perfectly and took him right out of his jump shot. Mm-hmm. How often do you see that? Where a guy's like, oh, nope, not shit, that's getting blocked. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the timing of that challenge was excellent. And for, was it Smart? What was his name? Started with an S. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, I got it right here. Started with an S. I felt bad for him. He had
Sharp.
I felt bad for him. He had a good game. He had some big 3-pointers in that first half, but that well-timed challenge cost that offensive play, and it was just tough to watch the game end like that. Because I felt bad for Houston, because you want him to have that shot.
Yeah, you want him to have at least a shot. Hey, take your best swing for the championship.
Yeah. If it had gotten blocked or something, or well challenged and made him shoot a shot that was not likely to go in, that would have been cool too. Mm-hmm. But to not even get it up, I was like, dang, that was kind of anticlimactic.
And I am not going to do the sports reporter, sports journalist saying, "Did Houston blow it or did Florida win it?" No, Florida won that.
No,
Houston
Florida
didn't
took
blow it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think Houston only had 2 turnovers the whole game, and then they had 3 in the last 2 minutes or something like that.
They had total of 9 turnovers.
Yeah, it it was some like huge disparity in like balance.
Mm-hmm.
There were so few in the first half, and then there was a glut of them at the end
Yeah,
of the
they
game.
had they had one in the first half.
Yeah, and then they had a glut of them at the end of the game, and that was credit to Florida. The only people that are saying the refs stole that game are butthurt.
Yeah, that's really it.
I did not get that at all from the referees last night. I thought it was a well officiated game. I at first I was like, man, they're letting Houston be real physical, but in the second half they let Florida do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, well, that's basketball.
Yeah, and as a player, as a coach, all you hope that it's even. Whether you're lenient or you're tight, as long as you're fair on both sides, fine, let it go.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
what I thought was interesting, coming out in the second half, Florida had what was like 5 or 6 quick fouls within the first 3 minutes, and then Houston wasn't in the bonus until about 5 minutes to go.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like Florida came out, saw what they could and couldn't do, and adjusted.
It's just an awesome game.
So I do want to pick up on something that
Without looking, I'm sorry, without looking, who won the rebound battle? Without
looking,
guessing, yeah, without looking, just what would you think from watching the game?
it felt like Houston won it
Yeah,
because it felt
Florida
like they
did.
got every important one.
Florida did 37-35, and it does not feel like that.
No.
Because it feels like every rebound was grabbed by dude with the braids for Houston in the first half. Roberts, is that his name?
Number
It
13.
felt like it felt like he grabbed every rebound.
Yeah. Well, and it was so funny because like you would see Florida go up and try to grab it, but then Houston would go up and their mentality was, we're just going to tap it out. We're going to get out of the sea of hands and go to somebody who can grab it.
And for the praise that needs to go to Walter Clayton Jr. to be blanketed like that and still have some effect on the game.
Yeah.
5 assists in the first half. He wound up with 5 rebounds. He only had 11 points, but the fact that he was able to affect the game without shutting down mentally or just being completely blanked.
Yeah. Yeah. Like let's pull on that for a second. So again, he was shut out in the first half, had 5 assists. He basically went, they are coming after me. Y'all are going to be open.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you the ball because it's the right basketball play.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've stressed to my kids and to anyone who will listen. About 80% of sports is just doing the right thing at the right time, making the right read, running the right route, throwing the right pass instead of shooting when you think, hey, I've got this. No, if you just do it the right way, 80% of the time, you're going to be successful. And that's what Clayton was doing. He was just taking what they were giving him, helping his team. Yes, in the second half, they were playing a little bit off. He could take a shot. He didn't care. And that's why I think, more than anything, he should be on the Magic. He doesn't care if he scores 8 or 28. As long as his team wins, he's fine.
It was the patience that he showed to just take whatever they gave him, however it's got to be, fine. We just need to move this ball around, and it's a great game by him.
Yep.
Not too many great 11-point games, but that was pretty impressive.
I know they joke sometimes like, well, this guy doesn't need to score to control the game. Clayton, that's exactly what Clayton did. He didn't need to score, and he had control of that game.
I wouldn't say he didn't need to, because they needed every bit of those 11 points in the second half.
But,
so I wouldn't say he didn't need to. He just didn't take anything that wasn't there. If he's doubled, he tried to find somebody. So that's how I would frame that.
That's fair. I saw him take one bad shot because I think he was just trying to get hot, heated up.
They're
Okay.
kids. They're gonna do dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like an orgasm where you have it for a while, then you finally get up and you're just like, "Ah!" You just throw it to the basket and hope it even hits the rim. You know, get pulled out of the game. Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Sandlot special. You won't get that on the sports reporters.
No, they're not going to talk about nutting a 3-pointer.
So, but I do want to talk about something. So I know we kind of touched on it last week, and I want to talk about it at this time. So this was the closest Final Four and championship game that they've had since 2017. It was 11 points across all three games. Okay, and we've talked about how the championship game was fantastic. It was talent. It was intense. It was phenomenal. Is this something we should expect going forward as the talent pool kind of condenses in college basketball with NIL and the transfer portal, or is it just a fluke?
I think NIL has fixed college basketball because they're getting paid more money than it is to be a rookie in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have to think, can I come back? And, you know, a lot of championship teams had some seniors and juniors on them.
Yeah.
So I hope it's a preview of the future and not a flash in the pan, because this is the most I've enjoyed college basketball in probably 10 years.
That's fair.
I was more entertained by Florida's last two games than I had been by a college basketball game in a long time.
Yeah.
The heart, you felt the heart, the pride. So, and what's nice is what you didn't get in a lot of college basketball for years is there was some mature basketball.
Mm-hmm.
There was some restraint. There was some ball movement. It was like, oh, okay, we're playing basketball out here, and it was fun. Cuts, a lot of cuts. People moving in and out of the lane, getting in and out of the lane, and somebody else to come in. So it was just very active. Seemed mature basketball to me, and it was a blast. It's kind of what the NBA isn't.
Yeah.
They didn't win that game with 3-pointers. Both teams shot under 30%, under 26% or 27%.
Yeah, Florida was 25, Houston was 24% from three.
Yeah, so they both shot poorly from the 3-point line. That game was won in the paint and at the free throw line. That was an old school basketball game we watched.
Yeah, and to your point, so of the 5 starters on Florida, get the actual number, 3 of them were seniors.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's not the way it was 5 years ago.
No. Yeah, that's I hope it continues. I really do. We need to get some rules in place, just like with football. We need some guidelines, some dates, some hard dates. If you're on this roster by this date, that's it.
Yep.
You're mine for the season. You have to perform as the contract states. You don't get to sit out and whine about it. Look, we've said it before. If you want to get paid like employees, you got to do employee shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to have a little structure here.
And it goes both ways. I am all for, hey, we're going to pay you this NAL deal that's $12, $14 million over 4 years. For you to get this money, you must stay here for 4 years or 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, and on the flip side, they can't.
I'm writing it as 4 1-years.
Yep.
I'm writing it as 4 1-year contracts. And if we're both in good standing at the end of this contract, you're more than welcome to sign the next one.
Yep, it's a 1 + 1 + 1 + 1.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Exactly.
So I mean, there is even talk. I don't think he will, but there's some grumbling that Cooper Flagg should come back because he'll make more NIL than he will his rookie year.
Why not?
The
And you're only going to build your legend because you're playing against lesser competition.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, for the day in and day out. There's going to be a few games where he's going to have his cage rattled for sure.
So the only thing that I would say about that is that while his rookie contract might be less than what he'll get in NIL, maybe his next contract won't be. And if you're a year in college, that's one less year that you can get a max contract in the NBA. So for someone like Clayton, it makes sense. For someone like Zach Edey, it completely, totally makes sense to stay. because your second contract may not be these big max deals. For someone like Cooper Flag, kind of makes sense for him to go. And that's my only argument. What you're saying is 100% right. Hey, look, I can get the money now. I can build my legacy. I can win a title. I can make up for what happened in the Final Four. But on the flip side, that's one less year, one less max year that I'll have in the NBA. So, and before we move on from this, I do want to give a shout out to a friend of the pod. We've had him on the show, Coach Raymond Davidson. Okay, y'all remember Coach? He coaches the middle school team from my kid's school. Coaches basketball. They won their last game 55-18. Great.
Mm.
I went to the game like, damn, ball's moving, moving around. What he told me is that if any player crosses half court, and if there isn't 5 passes on the possession, and somebody chucks up a 3, everyone wins a lap every time. He's like, I'm gonna punish these kids for not playing actual ball. He flat out told him first day of practice, you're not Steph Curry, you're not James Harden, don't shoot like it.
We'll have to see how it turns out.
Yeah. So they play another game
Is
tomorrow
that
night.
a long-term solution?
Yeah. I just thought it was great. He's like, that what we're seeing in the NBA is garbage. Don't do that. Not on my team. But speaking of the NBA, I was going to talk about the playoff picture, but Denver decided, hey, we're just going to fire our entire coaching staff a week before the playoffs.
I wonder what they saw in order for him to, in order for them to want to like let him go.
Well, they needed to let go of the GM. That was a given because he's completely decimated that bench.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that team won the title because they had depth. They had, pieces that could come in and out. This year, it's like 4 players. It's Jokic, Murray, Brown, and Porter, and that's it. They don't have anybody coming in. That's why they're currently 4th, and they could drop all the way to 8th in the West in this last week.
Mm.
So my guess is they probably were going to let the GM go anyway, and they were like, Malone, Mike, sorry, new GM's going to want their coach. Peace out.
Damn. I wonder how the players feel about the way that was handled.
I don't know. Obviously, they're gonna say, hey, we're gonna go on. We miss them, yada yada yada. I don't know if it was a Dwight Howard thing or if it was more just front office screw the players.
Damn. So I'm confused. The number 4 team in the West fired their coach and GM a week before the playoffs.
Yes.
Somebody told somebody to fuck off.
The number 5 team in the West fired their coach last week.
Trash ass bastard. Just fucking bunch of losers making the playoffs and shit. Get the fuck out of here. Man, I don't know. You think that the players of the Nuggets supported Mike Malone being fired?
I'm guessing no.
I didn't ever note any problem. We wouldn't know. You'd have to know somebody in the locker room, but still, I didn't hear any rumbles of it.
No. At least with Memphis, I heard rumblings. That they didn't get along with the coach. They didn't like the offense. They gutted his assistant staff at the start of the season. So I kind of understood that one. This makes no sense. Like I said, the GM to me makes sense, but why do it now? Why not just let him go at the end of the year?
Mhm.
So, I guarantee you it's not related to this story, but Coach was arrested for computer crimes after they found 1,300 um, pictures of people in intimate situations.
Catholic coach?
No, Michigan coach.
You never know.
Yeah. And what's funny is they don't mention anything about like underage or anything like that. It's thousands of candid, intimate photographs and videos that have been seized from his electronic devices and cloud storage. Some show victims engaged in explicit sexual acts.
So was he like recording people against their without their knowledge?
It's
Type
kind of what it
deal?
sounds like.
Yeah, because that's the only other crime I could think of
Yeah.
that would be arrestable, other than the R word.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So he was under the old Michigan coach. We don't care about him anymore.
Oh yeah, now he's not. Now he's not a Michigan man.
No, he was actually fired before last season.
Yeah, but now you don't claim him.
So I saw that come across because obviously ESPN has been the Michigan stuff. I'm just like, what the hell? I mean, when I heard he was arrested last year for computer crimes, I'm like, was he hacking somebody's like database, trying to get in like practice videos? Because I know Ohio State does that. Like, what is this? And like, oh, this is why you wanted blackmail.
What the hell's the world coming to?
I don't know. So, um, the NFL draft is coming up. It's coming up faster than I was expecting. I didn't realize it was next month. So, because we are seeing less sports, we don't like do a lot. We don't do multiple mock drafts. We'll do our mock draft when it comes up, but you know who really cares because it'll change here and there. But I wanted to ask you, okay, Dorian, I'll go to you first, and we'll kind of go back and forth. Top NFL bust of all time of our lifetime.
I mean, I don't, I don't know. I mean, you could say Jamarcus Russell. Some people may say Brian Bosworth. Um, I say that's tough, man, because I know there was a lot of hype of Ryan Leaf when he came out. A lot of hype with him. Like he was supposed to be that next wave of quarterbacks amongst the Philip Rivers and uh Eli Manning stuff. Like, you know, Ryan Leaf is supposed to be one of those to usher in those quarterbacks, but it didn't work out. So I'm thinking between Jamarcus Russell and Ryan Leaf.
BJ.
I know Rick Meyer and Achilles Smith were pretty bad too.
Yes.
Mm, yeah,
That whole '99 draft of quarterbacks
yeah,
was god awful.
yeah.
Except maybe McNabb, 'cause I think he was in that draft.
I think it was too. He came out what, a year before Vic or 2 years before Vic?
Okay, so here are the quarterbacks that were drafted in 1999. Okay, I was right. It was McNabb, so we'll go with that.
Mm-hmm.
There was Tim Couch,
Ooh,
McNabb, Achilles Smith, BJ. Who else we hear? Dante Culpepper, Cade McNown,
mm,
and that's all that was drafted in the first round. Achilles Smith was pretty freaking bad.
mm. Yeah. I don't think of any other draft busts. Oh, what about Trent Richardson from Alabama?
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, I mean, but consider Eddie Lacy. I mean,
think, yeah, that's all I can think of,
so
man.
I will say this is always my favorite draft story of all time. Okay, the '89 draft.
Mm.
BJ, who was drafted number one in the '89 draft?
Hmm. Dion?
No, he was
No.
drafted in that draft, but he was number five.
Number one in '89. Oh, Troy Aikman.
Yep. So Troy Aikman was one. Barry Sanders was three. Derek Thomas was four. Deion Sanders was five.
Mm.
Who
Number
wants us to
two,
name number two?
Mm.
Tony Mandarich.
Yeah, it's amazing what happened when you can't take steroids anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Mandarich stands out like Sam Bowie. He's like Akeem, Sam Bowie, Michael Jordan. But Dory, I'm gonna go with you, Jamarcus Russell, just because he didn't even try. Like honestly, did not even try.
Mm.
The story of the DVD that was great. It's one of my favorite stories of all time.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Marcus is he was something else. Especially, you know, the NFL, the as a quarterback, the NFL playbook is like it's like the equivalent of being your Bible, right? Like you study it, you read it, you like spend as much intimate time in that playbook as possible because that playbook can determine your career, basically. And he didn't do anything. He just thought that his golden arm will be able to suffice, not in the NFL.
Well, and truth be told, I mean, you'll hear stories now that players who don't have playbooks in college.
Mm.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
And to me, that was the biggest red flag of him in that draft. When he came out and said that the first time he had a playbook was in the NFL, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing? So we'll have more draft coverage in our stupid way throughout the year. I think the draft is the end of May, so we'll have our stupid stuff. Um, but as far as sports is concerned, that's all I got. So we got this week. College was great. To BJ's point, this was the first time that like the college basketball tournament, other than like hey my team, BJ obviously with Florida, like it was the tournament was meh because there weren't really a lot of upsets. The games weren't really close. The Final Four was excellent.
I thought there were two 5-12s in the first round.
Those are almost like given nowadays.
A 5-12s given,
Mm.
not necessarily multiple.
Fair.
So I thought that was pretty surprising. Yeah, no, I was very happy with the tournament.
Yep.
I hope it continues to trend that way.
It'll be nice if college basketball is close to what it was in the 80s and 90s.
Now they just need to go ahead and fix these All-Star games. Start paying these guys $1 million a piece,
Yeah.
1.5 million. You win the game, you get 1 million. You lose the game, you get 20,000. Good luck.
So, um, I wanted to ask you guys a question. So, I was talking with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and it came up about 80s movies. I forget kind of how it came up. And I had a question. I'm like, oh, I'll ask the guys that question. So, if you were to say, hey, we're gonna have an '80s movie marathon, so it's about 9 hours. Okay, it's about 3 movies worth of movies. Okay, what 3 '80s movies would you want in your '80s movie marathon?
Hmm. Well, I know I'm going to say Goonies and Top Gun, so that's 2 out of 3.
Hmm.
Um, oh no.
Well, Dorian,
Uh,
yeah,
see, I know the one I'm thinking is right on the edge, and I don't think it's on the right edge. Yep, I know it.
Hmm.
Dorian, well, give me two while BJ's looking at this.
For me, it will be Coming to America, and it will be Barry Gordy's Last Dragon. Bruce Leroy, sure enough, be my two.
I'm trying to think like some of the most 80s. Like, am I trying to give this person a sample of the 80s? Is that what you're saying? Or are we just sitting down and
We're just
these are
these are the 3
Hmm.
movies we're gonna watch. We're gonna have a good time.
damn.
I mean, movies like Back to the Future, Die Hard, Naked Gun.
I would say maybe the first Terminator, Goonies, and what was the other one I said? Oh, Top Gun. I've seen Top Gun more than I'd like to admit.
Dorian has loved the conversation.
But see, I don't know if I could just do 3 anyways.
Okay. Well, give me your top 5. Let's go with the top 5.
Just in 80s movies I like. Not even like if I'm trying to like share the 80s with another human. So, well, Back to the Future would have to be in there. I love that whole franchise. Always have.
Yeah, and I think Back to the Future, the first one was the only one that actually came out in the '80s.
Ooh, Indiana Jones.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, I appreciated the Indiana Jones movies. I was more into Indiana Jones than I was into Star Wars or anything like that.
That's fair.
That stuff seemed awesome to me.
I was more into Indiana Jones than I was into Rocky.
I liked Rocky, but it wasn't. Maybe I was just a little too young for it to be not to go over my head a little.
Maybe.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, that's a pretty damn good movie. You know, Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights would be one I'd want to keep because just the collection of comedians in one place. Arsenio Hall, Eddie Murphy, Della Reese, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Robin Harris, who wrote Bebe's Kids, Charlie Murphy. Who else is in there? Did I get most of them, Dorian?
Hmm. I mean, you got Red Fox, you got the late Danny Aiello, Della
You say Richard
Reese,
Pryor?
Richard
Richard
Pryor,
Pryor,
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall.
I mean, it's
You got
Robin Harris,
Robin Harris,
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy, Ronaldo Ray. You got Tommy, the guy who played Tommy from
Yeah,
Martin. He's in it.
yeah,
Um, so many people, man. It's like
yeah. It's just quite a collection of talent from that era. And listening to Della Reese and Red Fox is absolutely hilarious.
yeah. Did you know that? Did you know that Marvin Gaye's daughter is in Harlem Nights?
No, I did not.
Yep, she's in it.
It's awesome. But that's one of the first like ensemble cast that I remember being pretty awesome. Have you ever seen that movie Johnny Dangerously
I've heard of
Hmm.
it. I don't think I've seen it.
with Michael
I see.
Keaton?
No.
Oh man, it's weird. And what about the movie where Sylvester Stallone plays the gangster and his
Cobra? No,
No,
no
Cobra.
the
He was a cop.
you're a
yeah
cop, right?
no he plays a gangster. There's like he has like this busy day. He's got like tailors coming and a guy who's interested in his daughter and like he's just got all this shit going on. This is like this very fast paced movie. It's like a single name and it was in the early '80s.
See if I can find it. Rhinestone.
Did you say that shit with a straight face? Did you say that shit with a straight face? Oscar.
Well, see, that was in the '90s.
Oh, you missed it. Johnny Dangerously. Oh, Top Secret's pretty good. In honor of Val Kilmer.
R.I.P. Val Kilmer.
Yes, that's sad. That was very sad.
Yeah.
We lost Doc Holliday.
Yep. And the Saint.
Yep, Saint was a good movie too.
Well, we've expanded our marathon up to 5 movies. So
I just couldn't do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, Johnny Dangerously is 1984.
any thoughts, Dorian?
Um, I'll say for me, Harlem Nights. Um, that'd be my third one. Fourth one would be um, I would say my fourth. Oh, there's a movie by Carl Weathers called Action Jackson. That one, and then Bloodsport
Kumatai.
with um, Jean-Claude Van Damme and the great martial artist Bolo Young.
Yeah, I noticed nobody said, you know, Vince was in babysitting. No one said Karate Kid. BJ said Goonies.
Can't Buy Me Love.
Yeah,
That's a
it's a lot
classic.
of them, man.
Does that qualify?
Um, shit, Ghostbusters back then. Um,
Stripes.
Commando. Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of my favorite action movies by him.
Commander's like watching someone play a video game.
I love it, man. It's 80s nostalgia. Oh, what about
The
Iron
Wraith.
Eagle?
Classic. I
Iron
love
Eagle is a
Iron Eagle.
classic, man. I mean, um, it's so many.
What about The Wraith? Oh, Charlie Sheen movie.
Mm.
And the car that comes back and like I don't know.
I'm th- you said a car that does something. I'm thinking Christine. I know that's not what you're thinking of.
No, the Wraith is like a he races people and gets them to wreck and takes them out, but like they can't kill him. It's weird.
Mm. Mm. I'll see if you guys remember this movie. There's an 80s movie, and it was about a car that it was a kid in high school, and there was this car that discovered him. I guess the car was from outer space or whatever, and it allowed the car will allow the kid to drive him, and he would race against different like bullies and stuff, and then he would um fight against villains. I can't think of it. It's an 80s movie. It's about a car. I don't know if it was a Corvette or what, but it was a car. And when the guy sat in the car, like he wore like the car changed his into a uniform, like some type of like Soup
How
of some
much
sort.
cocaine were they on?
Bro, I'm pretty sure you're describing the Wraith
Is that what it's called? Well,
with Charlie Sheen.
that was it. That was fucking it. That was it.
It's a great fucking movie.
That was it.
It's so cheesy. I wonder what the rating is. 5.9 out of 10. Ooh.
Is that a mixture of a DeLorean and
That is a Dodge concept car called the Interceptor.
uh, that's crazy. Man, I just love that movie. Man. That movie's dope.
It's a great movie. Yeah, that's basically it.
That's the car from the movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
car. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome movie. The one guy just goes around drinking antifreeze the whole time.
Yeah.
He's like all geeked out of his mind. Like, no, that will kill you. You don't get high from antifreeze. What a terrible, terrible image to put on screen.
Again, it was the 80s. Cocaine may have been involved.
Oh, I mean, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
What about Ferris Bueller?
Oh
Great
shit,
movie.
that's a good call.
Yeah.
I don't think that was good for society because who didn't want to be Ferris Bueller?
All right.
Like that didn't. I don't think that helped us.
Well, it's ironic that the clip from Ferris Bueller had like 2 million views over the weekend. The one of Ben Stein talking about
Yeah,
tariffs.
because he's talking about the exact. Yeah, great, great, wonderful.
I'm just like,
Now if we're putting him out there, we got to put him out there. Dirty Dancing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
No
a
one
pretty
put
big
Fabian in
movie.
the corner, but they probably should have.
Mhm.
Yeah. 'Cause now she's gonna wind up screwing this dance instructor. Good job, guys.
It's
Should've
literally
put
twice
that
her
in the
age.
Yeah. You know. Guess
What about Flashdance?
Okay.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are we just gonna name all the '80s movies? Is
Yeah, I
that what
guess
we're
so.
about to do?
You might as well,
It
man.
was like
It's so many
Labyrinth.
great movies from the 80s. Well, one of my favorites, Weird Science. Love that fucking movie.
Yeah, that's the one with Val Kilmer, right?
No, Weird
No.
Science.
No, no. What's the one with Val Kilmer where he's a
Yeah.
um,
I know you're talking about
you know what I'm talking about? He's like a genius at college.
yeah.
Um, is it Top Secret? No, that's not it.
No, Top Secret's funny though.
Real Genius.
Real
Yes,
Genius.
that's it.
Real Genius, yeah. I think Everybody Wants to Rule the World is on that soundtrack. On that movie soundtrack.
Because it was on every 80s soundtrack.
Yeah. um there's another
And yes, one of these days we'll do a bracket of the best 80s movie and BJ will slap me. It'll be fine. It'll be good content.
shit, what about Rocky?
First of all, 70s movie. Second of all, boring as shit. Move on.
No, I'm talking
Boring,
about the Rocky when
boring
he's
as
fighting
shit.
against Drago. Ivan Drago.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know
Rocky
if
4.
boring's. I don't think boring's the proper adjective.
Dude,
Shit, I folks with Rocky.
Rocky is boring.
Damn,
I'm going to crush
I don't know what to say to this guy anymore.
you.
We just gotta let him be him, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though he's wrong all the time.
um what about that movie that Jean-Claude Van Damme was a Russian spy? He was fighting against I forgot what he was fighting against an American. Is it? It's not American Ninja, right? No.
I don't know. All his movies blur together. It's like Steven Seagal. It's all the same movie. I mean, you can tell me it was Missing in Action, Cyborg, or Bloodsport, but I guess sure, whatever. He, John Clive Van Damme did a movie with Dennis Rodman. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah. Oh, it's called No Retreat, No Surrender. It was cheesy, but I liked
Again, it was the '80s. It was supposed to be cheesy.
What
This
about
is
the one with Morgan Freeman where he goes to be principal of that school?
Oh, Lean on Me.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
this is the '80s are the decade that brought us Porky's and Revenge of the Nerds, and
Yeah.
made sequels to them.
Yeah.
Yes, it's no secret.
Oh, he had a lot of movies.
Hmm.
I remember the movie
Now
he did.
I'm over here just focused on '80s movies, going through the list in my head.
There was a lot of bangers. There was a lot of good ones.
Yeah, those good ones.
Cyborg.
Surprised Dorian didn't say "Do the Right Thing."
I mean, I like
Dorian.
I,
Why
I
not any
like
of
the
us?
right thing.
Why's it got to be Dorian? Why can't it be any of us?
because I because he said it multiple times it's high on his list. So I do have notes from previous episodes.
I need to
But
see
a
that.
do I have Do the Right Thing high on the list.
You said it before multiple times.
Yeah, I'm gonna need
I
proof.
don't I don't know. I mean, I like Do the Right Thing, but it was always for me for '80s movies. It was definitely Come to America is one of my favorite movies of all time. Harlem Nights. I was in the '80s. I was more of a comedy action guy. Do the Right Thing. I started getting into it like later as I started growing up. But definitely like anything that was action based or comedy, I was on it. Um, like Trading Places. That's what 84, 83.
84. Okay. Here's a list of the best comedies from the '80s. This is according to IMDb, so take that with a grain of salt.
Mhm.
Airplane.
No
Yeah,
shit.
Airplane was fun.
Honestly, I thought they came on '79, but they're saying '80. So Blues Brothers,
I like
I
them.
remember Bruce Brothers.
Caddyshack.
Oh man, I'm mad that I forgot that.
Um, Coming in number 4 is 9 to 5.
I haven't seen all that yet.
I saw it, but I wasn't.
Number 7 is Stripes.
Stripes
That's a
is
pretty funny
'80s. I
movie.
thought it was '70s. I thought it was
81.
'79. '81. Okay.
Good year.
Number 11 is The Toy.
Oh shit, that movie's pretty funny actually. Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor.
Hmm.
Would
That's-
never get
that's
made
a-
now.
No, never get made now.
Number 15 is Trading Places.
Man, let's
Number
put it down
16 is Bachelor Party.
there. With Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and so, and funny story, I was arguing online, which is never a good idea. There are people alive today who did not know that Tom Hanks was a comedic actor.
Yeah. Well.
For like a decade, he was a comedic actor. And he does Forrest Gump in Philadelphia. He's like, yep, this is where I'm going to be now.
Big money.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've Police Academy is on this list.
Oh shit!
Man, I know.
Forgot
Come
about
on.
Police Academy.
Man, there's like 3 movies on that list.
Dude,
Hey,
Police Academy is classic.
oh,
Love Police Academy.
I'm upset. Damn.
Back to School, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Damn. Back to School's hilarious.
Oh, you kept forgetting
Rodney Dangerfield.
about the National Lampoon movies.
Yep, they're on this list as well. I skipped over it.
Yeah, because I think Christmas Vacation was like 89, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Okay. So in '83, number 14 is National Lampoon's Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Top-notch movie.
And then in '85 was European Vacation.
Probably the third best.
So I don't consider this a comedy, but it was funny. The Golden Child is on this list.
I remember Golden Child.
You consider it a comedy?
No.
Eddie.
It had some funny moves, but I'm agree with you.
Short Circuit.
Oh.
That was short circuit.
Adventures in Babysitting.
This is a babysitter.
Pretty good
Love
movie.
that movie.
And I had a crush on Elizabeth Shue.
Dude,
We all
Spaceballs has to be on that list. Has to be.
I'm still going through it, but number 43 on this list, near and dear to my heart. Ernest Goes to Camp.
Hey man, my middle brother loved Ernest.
Yeah.
My middle brother absolutely loved Ernest, bro. But you just come in the house on the weekend, he's watching Ernest. Almost guaranteed.
Okay. 46 is Spaceballs.
By the way, by all accounts, Jim Varney was a pretty good dude.
Oh, yes.
I've never heard. You can't read a bad thing about him.
So, yeah, 46 is Spaceballs, 47 is Summer School.
46.
46.
Spaceballs. That is insane. And then back to what was the other one? Summer School.
Summer School.
That's low.
Yeah.
I just can't believe Spaceballs is the 46th funniest movie of the 80s. That's outrageous. There's no way that lines up.
Again, it's IMDb. Take it for what you will.
There's no way that
crazy.
lines up.
I mean, he forgot
There's like-
Uncle. Like he forgot Uncle Buck. He forgot The Great Outdoors.
Uncle Buck's right on the edge.
Oh,
Uncle Buck might be early 90s.
And Great Outdoors is 53.
I love that shit.
yeah, that movie was
I love that
hilarious.
shit. I love that movie. Every time it comes on, I watch some amount of it. Like I'm going to watch 10, 15 minutes of it.
And so at 50, they have Big, which, when you think about it, is a really disturbing movie. And at 51, they have Coming to America. This is where we should do our own list. F
We
these
can
people.
do our own list. I just don't want to do too many of them, but this list makes me angry. I swear they just do this to like get us to talk about it online.
Well, okay, so what IMDb does, they all the movies are rated by people, so they're just literally doing the star rating of what people have said. Okay, this movie's a comedy, came in the 80s, here's the star rating, you go.
That's dumb.
Oh shit! What about Weekend at Bernie's?
I think that's early 90s.
I think that is early 90s.
It's a very blurry time there. It all just kind of blends together.
Yeah.
No, Weekend at Bernie's was 89.
Oh, there you go. I was going to say Goodfellas, but that was 90.
But Weekend at Bernie's, they made a sequel too.
Yeah.
Why?
That's why Goodfellas is a superior movie. You couldn't make a sequel to it. They killed everybody.
Right.
Just about. There's just Henry Hill left.
What about that movie? It was with Corey Haim and Corey Feldman.
License to Drive.
License to Drive. That's what it was.
Yeah. And Heather Graham.
Ooh, a young
Yeah.
Heather Graham.
Now you got attention.
Yeah. We just can't say young Heather Graham. We're too old for that. It sounds fucked up.
Major League.
Major League. That's I thought that was 90.
89.
You know?
Fuck you, Joe Boo.
Yeah.
So, not gonna lie, one of the guys at work is their AI zealots. He has his own like little AI bot that he talks to, and he calls it Joe Boo because every so often it's wrong. He just goes "fuck you, Joe Boo" in the office. It's awesome.
I like it.
I'll allow it.
Yeah,
See no evil, hear no evil.
Mm.
that's a pretty good movie. Yeah.
Okay, Uncle Buck is 67 on this list.
Mm.
Huh. Stupid motherfuckers. Here's a quarter. Why don't you go down to the corner and have a rat and gnaw that thing off your face?
Three Amigos.
Pretty
Three
solid.
Amigos.
And I'm just looking at comedies, so this.
Good cheesy movie. I liked anything with Chevy Chase in it.
I know he's a dick, but he's funny.
He's good
Yeah.
at it. He's good at it.
Well, because that's his persona. Like that's who he is.
Well, that's what a lot of the people who've had problems with him say he doesn't know when to turn it off. Like, what if there's no off switch?
Yeah, that's just who he
It's
is.
just- it is.
Yeah. So according to this, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation came out in 1989. It is the 86th best comedy of the 80s.
Kiss my entire fucking ass. Suck the sludge out of it. You lying bitch. 89th best movie. That thing is so fucking quotable.
Okay,
No way.
back to a question that I asked. So, what's a more quotable movie? Naked Gun, Airplane, Anchorman, or Christmas Vacation?
Yeah.
I involuntarily quote Airplane. You know what I mean? Like, just say something stupid. When fucking, who was that?
Airplane?
Yeah, the old lady who sat down and started speaking jive to the two guys.
The Julie Haggerty?
No, was that Beaver's mom?
It may have
From
been.
Leave It to Beaver?
Trying to find it.
Barbara Billingsley.
Yep, she was June Cleaver,
I knew it.
and she was the voice of the nanny from Muppet Babies.
And she was the jive lady from Airplane.
Yep. So let me ask you, BJ. You don't have kids that you know about, so I'll ask this question to Dorian. If you set your kids down and watched Airplane today, what would they think about it?
Mm-hmm. Good question.
Do you think they would laugh? Or do you think they would be like 15 minutes in and Dad, I'm out. Where's my phone?
I think my oldest son, my 12-year-old, my 15-year-old daughter would be like, yeah.
Well, okay, that's not fair because your 15-year-old daughter would watch Monty Python and still be checked out.
Yeah, she'll be.
Monty Python's not so easy for everybody to grasp.
Yes. But neither is Airplane. I mean, it's especially. I mean, obviously a lot of the references are dated, but a lot of the comedy is subtle.
Well, you know what shocked me is growing up and becoming an adult, allegedly, is not everybody speaks sarcasm.
No.
I I was raised as that's like my first language. So when somebody doesn't get it, I'm just like, wait, are you okay? Are you having a moment? Do I need to call an ambulance?
I've learned not everyone speaks sarcasm, and not everyone does sarcasm well. That's
No.
something that I've picked up on.
Yeah. Uh, it is a talent.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Well, that's why I like Naked Gun so much, is because like you have to kind of pay attention to the jokes, otherwise you can be like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yep. Yeah, I know a lot of people that have watched Monty Python the Holy Grail and they're like, yeah, I just don't like it. And I'm like, you're broken. Something wrong with you. You have no soul.
But then again, I mean, like the old school comedies like Monty Python, Airplane, like you compare those now to comedies today, like Anchorman, um, like Knocked Up. It's a completely different format, and that's what these kids are used to. And I hate to like be old man shaking his fist at the clouds, but that's just what these kids are used to nowadays.
You're doing it as we speak.
I know, I'm old. I get it.
No, I don't understand why you think you're old at 44. I don't get it. You
Barely
still
ever
can't.
seen.
You can't bend over, stand up, jump, climb.
I can jump, I can climb. Don't ask me to bend over. Things will pop and it will be bad.
You've never been able to jump. You can hop.
Hey, I could jump over a phone book. Just don't put a second one there.
Yes, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that's a state of mind. Don't you have a tendency to age yourself before you need to be aged. I've noticed that with you. You post a lot of the things that like dates our generation. Like, oh, just to let you know, this song's 25 years. Shut the fuck up. Like, why are you posting that shit?
Dude, I squatted down the other day and my knees and my hips cracked like a freaking bowl of Rice Krispies.
Yeah,
It was loud too.
my ankle pops randomly. Shit happens. Dorian's got acne.
Well, he's had acne since he was 13.
Damn. Damn.
Don't believe that, guys. I don't have that. I got bad knees though. That I do.
I just saw you looking. I just
That
saw
I
you
do.
put your face really close to the camera, so I was just giving you shit. But Dorian's sense of humor got left at work. It's in his locker.
No, no, that's speaking of knees, so I was invited to play in a flag football league starting in May.
Shit, shit, you got two cuts in you. You got two cuts in you.
I said, man, look, I said, I don't know. They're like, come on, man, you could do it. I don't know my knees. Come on, man, it's gonna be everybody, just for men, adults. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try
Where
again.
is it?
Winter Park. Um, it's
About time.
actually some individuals and at my job they wanted to put a team together, and then they were like, but I'm like that league I played before, and I'm like, even though it's a co-ed league, like when I played it before, like they got some studs there. They're like, I say
Literally and
it's
figuratively.
competitive. We'll see. I don't know how it's gonna work. The last time I played basketball and my knees, I'm like, man, I almost died.
How
Like,
you
yeah,
supposed to cut?
huh?
How you supposed to cut on grass without falling apart?
I don't know, man. I think I
You
may.
got cleats?
Yeah, I got cleats.
All right. That's
I
better
got the
because at
whole.
least you're less likely to fall on your ass because that's what's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I got cleats and everything, but I'm still like kind of, oh, but
You got
I'll try
insurance?
again.
For
You got
now.
insurance?
Huh? Oh yeah, I got insurance.
Yeah, fuck it then.
I
Right?
definitely got insurance. I got knee
No.
braces. I got calf, sleeve and all that shit.
I played in a tackle football turkey game at 36 years old.
Hell no.
Bro, bro, you never seen somebody play the sideline so much in your life. You never seen it. I was like, Dion, just out there on the sideline, just living life. You know what I mean? Don't you dare
Did
come
anyone
out
want you to
here.
play quarterback?
Oh, I played quarterback. I played quarterback. Well, you know what bugs me about like pickup football? It's like I've always been pretty decent at throwing the ball. So like if we played for like an hour and I got like 3 touchdowns, like
Mhm.
what makes you think you can just be like, oh, let me get a couple, let me get a couple tries at quarterback?
Yeah, I know,
Like,
right?
No.
like no, like I'm out here slinging this shit. Like, shut up,
Yeah,
go somewhere. Get,
yeah.
I never understood that. But
Well,
you trying, you you're gonna do better.
yeah.
Like we're up by 2 touchdowns. What do you want out of me?
And when guys are out there warming up, you know who can throw a good pass and
Yeah,
who can't.
hmm
we used to decide who would get first pick by throwing the football. Whoever threw it the furthest got the first pick.
Yeah.
I got a lot of first picks.
And and no, like if someone's hot at quarterback, I don't give a damn if they're not throwing you the ball and you feel like you need to touch it, be better.
I took the Tom Brady approach. I wasn't worried about the receivers. I can throw good enough to get some yards. We're okay. My first pick is the person I don't want tackling me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this strategy, this shit. I'm trying to live. So I'm gonna pick that person. I don't want you chasing me for the next 2 hours. So you come over here with me, and we'll figure out all this skill position shit eventually. Yeah, no, you can be out here smacking me on a Sunday.
For the most part, a pickup football game, we're all about the same. There is some different levels, but we're all about the same.
Dude, we were playing at Susan Street. Do you
Oh
know
yeah, I know.
what
That's
kind
what
of crowd that attracts?
you. Yeah,
There's athletes back there.
Yeah.
I
All of
know.
a sudden, you got guys running
Cheeseburger
four or
ran my ass
fives, and
over
you're like,
doing that.
cheeseburger, man. I don't know if there's a guy named Boo Monkey. That dude was so fast,
Mhm.
and he ran me over once. And Boo Monkey probably wasn't but 175, 180 pounds.
Yeah.
Flattened me, flattened me. But I wound up holding on to him, so he like fell down. So I tackled him, like, technically. Like it would have been a tackle in the books, but the reality of the situation is he put his head down and bowled over me, and I managed to trip him while we both fell to the ground. That's the truth of the matter. He weighed probably 10 pounds less than me. He just smoked me right in the middle of the field. My younger brother, who's 7.5 years younger than me, would come out there and play with us. And Jeremy Hornstra lit his ass up one day. Jeremy lit Adam up, feet off the ground, laying on the ground, going. So I went over there. I was like, Adam, you all right? Yeah. I said, you want me to help you up? Yeah. So I stood him up, straightened him up, and he started breathing. He kept playing.
And this is
Tough little bastard.
allegedly pre-steroid Jimmy Hornstra.
Look, I did not say any of that. You ain't gonna get me in trouble with that family. I did not say any of that shit. I'm just saying, 712 pounds, goddamn. Yeah, he got smoked. There was a guy that came out there. It was the craziest thing. It was like the quarterback thing. Like I was having a pretty good game. He comes out there. He's like, "Let me run some quarterback for a while." All right. So he just has a big arm. He is bombing them, not hitting anybody,
Because he's overthrowing them.
overthrowing everybody. I was like, "Bro, we all run like 5.5s. Just like chill out and sling it out there. We'll get there eventually. Throw it up." Oh man, those days were a blast.
Oh yeah. I remember riding my bike out there.
I almost broke my leg at David Lee's house playing football in the backyard by the lake.
Mm-hmm.
I stuck my foot in the grass to plant, and I felt a bunch of pressure build up in the middle of my calf. And
Ooh.
I was like, oh no, oh no, and I was a little wary of playing on uneven ground after that.
Yeah. Well, that's where I tore my hamstring.
Hmm.
I went up to defend the pass. It came down. And I felt a pop, and I'm like, whoa.
Were you out there at the? No, you were at college. When Andy Rednauer landed on that guy's leg.
No.
Oh, it was a guy we met at LSCC. So he comes out there to play with us, and all he did was tell us how much high school football he played. Like that's all. That's all he did in class, because he heard us talk about the pickup games, and so he's like, "Yeah, I want to play." So we get out there, and Andy's safety. This guy's my wide receiver. I throw a ball down the sideline, and dude's quick. He's going to get it, but him and Andy get there at the same time, and Andy came in like this, trying to catch the ball, and when he did, his knee went down on that guy's calf on the ground.
Ooh.
Oh my God! Have you ever seen a softball grow out of a human's leg?
I don't want
It
to.
was no, it was instant. By the time I ran down there, 40 some odd yards down the field, and got there, that guy already had a half a softball in his calf. It was disgusting. He couldn't move it. His girlfriend had to like hop him to the car and take him to the hospital.
Yeah.
Man, I'll never forget that. Because I had the perfect shot. Nobody was standing between us and them. I saw exactly how it happened. Like I knew how it happened as soon as it happened. I was like, oh no, oh no. He's screaming. He's laying on the ground screaming. I'm like, oh shit. We had some good games out there.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
I played more tackle football with no helmet than I did with a helmet.
Mhm.
Idiot.
So, well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll go call it a night. This has been Sandlot Sports.